Okay, another video continuing on with Examview. What I'm showing you is how to edit questions in Examview and change things around so you can get the test just the way you like it, so that when you import it into Moodle or administer it paper-wise, you'll have all your ducks in a row. Okay, so let's get back into Examview, and I'm going to open up my Examview, and I just want to show you how to do this. I'm not sure if you know how to navigate to it, but in your programs, sometimes it's not listed as Examview, so you might spend time looking Examview. Well, Examview is owned by a company called eInstruction, and you're going to want to go to the assessment suite and test generator. Okay, so if you'd ever wonder how to get there, now you know. Okay, now that I'm in, I'm going to open an existing test. And if this pop-up box goes away and you lose it, don't worry, there's an open folder up here, okay? So you can open a file. I've placed that demo one on my desktop, so all I did was find out where I put it and I saved it. And I saved it as an Examview file. So I'm going to highly suggest that while you're working a test and you don't have it the way you want it yet, continue to save it as Examview. So file, save as Examview, which is .tst. Because with Examview, you can modify things and change things around like I'm going to show you in this video, and it's easier to do in Examview. You don't want to change these just yet to Moodle or Word because it makes changing a lot more difficult, okay? So make sure you have it the way you want in Examview first, because then your life will be easier. One thing I do want to point out to you, you may have noticed in the last video, is these little red dots. So next to the question, we got little red dots, and actually next to this red dot, you have this maybe old school looking VCR. These icons have meanings, and they can help you or hinder you in your question making. So the red dots mean bimodal. These questions have two modes. They can either be multiple choice or they can be short answer. So any question that you pull and it has a red dot next to it means it has two different forms, okay? How you change that is as so. You go to question, toggle bimodal. So what you're doing is you're toggling between two different forms. You can switch from being multiple choice to short answer and short answer to multiple choice. Right now on my test, these questions are multiple choice. If I choose all questions, question, toggle, all multiple choice to short answer, all of those questions that were multiple choice and had the red dot have now been changed into short answer, okay? If you don't want that and you want to put it back, toggle bimodal again, all short answers, multiple choice. Now, if you notice, the one that didn't change is the first question that we made. It stayed a multiple choice. When we created that question, we created strictly as a multiple choice. So if you're going to make a question, you're going to make a new question, you can choose bimodal as an option. So if you make a new multiple choice question, you can make it as bimodal. That way you can switch back and forth if that's convenient for you. If you specify multiple choice, you're pretty much stuck with multiple choice, okay? The other thing is this old school picture here, this gray thing. What this means, this is a calculated question. Okay, Moodle has these built in too, but a little difficult to program in Moodle. In Examview, what happens is if you right click this and I show you, I go to edit. This looks kind of strange. You got num1 var1. That means number one, variable one. These are calculated questions, meaning what's going on in Examview is it's just pulling two random numbers and it's creating a question with those two random numbers and variables and it's generating answers. Okay, so it's kind of like it's question generator within a test generator. So to use these, what happens is you have one instance of this question, given 10m equals 14n, find the ratio, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's say I really like that type of question and I want to give a lot of practice to the kids. If you right click, you can calculate value. Boom. What that does is it changes it to this. If I want another one, I can do duplicate. Now I have two of the same type of questions, but they're actually different. They're using different variables, okay? If I want another one of those questions, boom, duplicate again, okay? You just keep hitting duplicate as many times as you want, and then you'll keep changing the values of the numbers and the variables, okay? So you've created basically 3 more questions based off of one. So anytime you see one of those little gray things, that indicates this is a calculated question, just like number 9. If I duplicate this, there's a question. Duplicate it again, another question. Okay, what I like to use this for is if I make a practice test for kids and it's something that's really important, I want to drill into them, I might make 3 of these questions, just like this. Then what I'll do is on the actual test, I will right click, when I'm editing the real test, and I'm going to put calculate values. So it's the same type of question, maybe questions 9, 10, 11, but they have different values. Okay, so this is kind of cool to do, especially for math. You don't have to create many of the same type of questions. You can just change the numbers and all the answers are already pre-calculated. Okay. All right, so I showed you how to add questions. I've showed you how to edit questions. I've showed you how to move questions. Now what I'm going to show you how to do is export. Okay, once you have the test the way you want it, you can export questions. And you can export into RTF, which stands for Rich Text Format. That means that you can open this in Word later. Okay, so if you go to File, Export, you have Rich Text Format. If you do that, what happens is this stays in RTF, and if I call this Demo Test, put it on my desktop for you. That is now a file that I can open with Microsoft Word, and I can do whatever I want to it. I can change things, I can rename it, I can fix the margins, do whatever you want to it. Okay, so if I open up Word and I open that test, so I'm going to open desktop and I have demo. See, now it looks like a Word document. This is that Examview test. Now, like I mentioned before, you're going to want to do most of your editing in Examview, because now if you notice, if I want to change one of these answers, the answer key at the end is going to be affected. If I want to move questions around, it's going to mess up the order of my answer key. Okay, so if you want to keep your life simple, I say do as much editing you possibly can in Examview, and then go to Word or to Moodle. All right. Now into Moodle, if you go back to Examview, you're going to do File, and you're going to export. Ooh, wrong one. That's PowerPoint. If you are in Examview, you're going to go File, Export, and we're going to export it to Blackboard 6.0, 7.0. Also on my Dell Ed Tech channel, I have a video about how to import that into Moodle. So if you are comfortable with your questions that you've created and you're ready to try to get into Moodle, please follow the other video that is importing a test into Moodle. Okay? Hope this helps. Thanks.